my name is Deborah and this is my channel Stitch the Stash. Today is Sunday, May 24th. We are in Memorial Day holiday weekend here in the United States. I hope you all are doing well. We are doing well here in New York City. We are still working from home. I think we're in week 11, heading into week 11. Not quite sure. I'd have to look at my calendar to know. But both my husband and I and the cats are doing well, and that's all I can say about that. We are managing. So yes, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with me. And if this is your first time checking me out, I hope you enjoy. This is a channel all about cross stitch, and occasionally I will throw in book reviews, knitting, and quilting. So I hope you like what you see and you might stick around and decide to subscribe and check out what else I have to offer. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has newly subscribed to me. I've had an abundance of new subscribers, and I have now hit the 1,000 milestone in subscribership. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate each and every single one of you. It means a lot to me. I never thought I would get to this point in my channel. When I started this, I thought, you know, 5, 10 people, that'd be great. And now I have 1,000, and so I thank you, and I really truly appreciate it. I will eventually do a 1,000 subscriber giveaway, but right now with the state of the world and the fact that I'm not even going into the post office, I don't feel comfortable right now doing a giveaway because I don't know when I would get it in the mail. I also need a chance to think about what I want to offer. So that will come down the road in the future. But thank you from the bottom of my heart to every single one of you who has subscribed to my channel. I really, really appreciate it. All right, so I have a lot to share with you today. I have finishes, I have whips, and I have new starts because yes, May is Stitch Mania, and I decided to participate a little differently this year. This is my 3rd year doing it. And so I decided what I wanted to do, and it's not like the last 2 years. So I will cover that bridge when I get to it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's talk about finishes. I have had 3 finishes during the past 5-6 weeks since my last video. Unfortunately, I could only show you 2 of them today. The first one was a gift, and before I send it off to the receiver, I will do a little video of it, and once they've received it, I will share it with you here on my channel. But there are 2 more finishes that I can show you. If you remember back in April, I had said that I was choosing a focus piece, something to work on before work, Monday through Friday only. Before I start work at 9:30 in the morning, I get anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours of stitching time in. It just depends on what time I get up and how I feel when I get up. But yeah, and the piece I'm going to show you is I almost had it done at the end of April, but I ran out of thread. I had 1 word left to do on this piece, and I ran out of thread. And unfortunately, it was a gentle arch thread. Did not have it in my stash. I looked for a DMC conversion that just did not go. I looked online, and with Gentle Arts being shut down, you know everyone is sold out of it. So I put an SOS out on Instagram to see if anyone could share like 1 yard with me, even a half a yard. That's all I needed. And the amazing responses that I received to everyone who checked their stashes and was willing to send me some, I thank you, thank you, thank you. But Marcy, she got to me first, so she sent me what she had in her stash, and on Instagram it's Marcy NYC. And thank you so much for coming to my rescue, Marcy. I was so upset, and you just put a smile on my face, so thank you for coming to my rescue. So what projects am I talking about? I am talking about Through the Storms by Silver Creek Samplers. I stitched this on a coloring cotton 32 count Lugana in the color Rose Water. and I used all the called for threads in this, and I absolutely love this. I love how it turned out. I started this in Mania of 2019, and so I finished it just under its 1-year birthday on May 6, 2020. And this is my anniversary present to my husband on June 2nd, and I already have the frame. I just need to go ahead and get it framed this weekend so it's ready to go. And once I have it all framed, I'll show you what that looks like. But yeah, I love it, love it, love it. Super excited to have this one done. So that's my first finish. And then May came rolling around and I needed another morning focus piece. Well, I forgot to say that this Through the Storms was a April WIPGO call, so I was able to cross it off my bingo board. And if you don't know what WIPGO is, it is a group that Jessie Marie does stuff. She created a Facebook group, which will be linked down below. And basically what we did is we created a bingo board of our projects that we had goals for this year. Your goal could be a 1-page finish, it could be stitching on for 2 days, it could be a whole project finish, so whatever you choose. And then every month Jessie pulls 2 numbers for us, and those are supposed to be our focus pieces for the months. But you can really work on any projects that are on your board if you want, any time of the year. You have the whole entire year to finish. So I was able to cross this one off. And the next piece I'm going to show you was also a WIPGO piece, but for May. All right, so May comes rolling around and you need another focus piece. What do I choose? Well, I choose another Mania piece, but this one's from 2018, and I finished it just after its 1-year birthday on May 22nd, and it is May by the Cricut Collection. I am super excited to have this done. I did stitch this on a 32 count Joblin and Antique White. It is all DMC, even where it calls for the silken colors. I just did the DMC conversion and held 2 strands of DMC together. But isn't it lovely? I only spent 12 stitching mornings on this, and I was able to knock it out. Why it took me 2 years, I don't know. But absolutely love it. We have the pelican, the beehive, the flowers, the bee scap, the kite, the little girl, and the mama with her little veil. And to be exact, there are 12 French knots in this piece, and I say it's 12 French knots too many, but I got through them. Love it. So yep, another WIPGO piece is knocked off on my board. I believe I have 4 WIPGO pieces finished out of the 24 that are on my board. But super excited to have another finish. And I am stitching all of these in the Cricut collection. I have already chosen the next one. I figured as soon as I finish one, I need to start another one just so I can have any chance of getting through them. And my philosophy going forward with them is I'm going to pick out my favorite ones and stitch those first. That way, if I manage not to finish all of them, at least my favorite ones were stitched first. So that's how I'm going to go forward with that. All right, so now let's move on to WIPs, works in progress. All right, works in progress. What have I been working on during the past few weeks? Well, the first one is something that I started in high tea last year and revisited this year for a stitching day, and it is Emily's House by LindyStitches. Absolutely love this piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. It just speaks to me, like it speaks to everybody else. And this is a picture of where you saw it last. I had just started the border. Really, it was like a morning of stitching, And this is where I'm at with it now after stitching on it for another morning. I am stitching this on a 36 count linen by Picture This Plus in Oaken, and this is the called for fabric, and I'm using the called for threads. I managed to get a little more of the border done, more of the flowers filled in, and I started to fill in more of the center motifs instead of continuing to go up or to the left. I'm really looking forward to getting this one out again. It will come out again this year because I just adore stitching on it. Love it. And my next whip was Dorothy Gale by Brooks Books Publishing. I am stitching all of these in the series in one long piece like you see down here. This is a Whipco board piece, and it has been called, and I thought one day during my lunch breaks I would pull it out to stitch on it, and this is where it was at the last time you saw it. Really not much there, just I started the yellow brick road, and this is where we got to here. Not much progress. I only stitched on it for one lunch break. I managed to finish the yellow brick road except for this little piece here, and then I decided to go up to her feet. Now her shoes are in DMC Light Effects, which I converted to Krennic, which I then converted to Petite Treasure braid, and I decided to hold off on doing them. And so I did her stockings and the bottom of her dress, and I would have done more, but her dress is two or three different blues, and I pulled out, looked for one color. I'm like, it's not in my box. So I said, well, I'll do the other color, and that wasn't in my box either. So I was missing two of the DMC colors, and so I just said, forget about it. I will just put this away for another day. So I need to figure out why I don't have all the colors. I don't think originally when I created the box for the Wizard of Oz and my Alice in Wonderland series, I put all the colors in the same DMC box, but I don't have them all in there. So this will get finished when I sort out my DMC issue, but we'll get there. All right, so that was my second whip. So my third whip is for April 29th. I started this project for the Long Dog Leap Day Sal that Erin Two Martini Stitcher put together. This was started on Leap Day on February 29th, and I'm trying to bring it out on the 29th of every month. So this came out, and we're talking about my Long Dog Samplers by Mots d'Amour. Absolutely loved this piece when I saw it. So I couldn't wait to start it for the Sal. This is where it was at the last time you saw it. I am stitching it on a 36 count linen by Fiberlicious in the color Dusty Rose. And this is where I got to it. I didn't stitch on it all day. It was just for the, I think I stitched on it in the morning, and I might have stitched on it a little bit for my lunch break. But I managed to complete the hearts, and then I started working on the inner bits of the heart. And then I have all back stitching. And it was suggested to me that maybe I could leave the back stitching off and it would still be fine. But unfortunately with that, once I get the rest of the word in here, and a couple little blips like this are in here, the rest of the detail is all back stitching. So if I left it off, it would be like, why am I stitching this piece? So I will plow through and see how it goes. And again, it's just one stitch at a time, and it will get done when it gets done. I have 4 years to finish this. That's the goal, 4-year finish. But yeah, I love the pattern, but I'm not crazy about all the back stitching. But we'll just, like I said, one stitch at a time. All right, but I love the fabric. The thread is a DMC number 23. They call it a light purple, but I think to my eye it is a light pale pink. And I think it looks pretty on this. Yep, so that's that one. Then May 1st came, and on the 1st of every month, I am trying to stitch on my New Year Day start. And I keep it housed in this lovely little sleeve that my sister made for me and gifted to me for Christmas. And the pattern I keep in there is because we are both styling the same pattern. And that project is Kind and True by With My Needle. Absolutely love this. We both won this pattern from Michelle Bendy Stitchy auctions last year and decided to style it together this year. Absolutely love it. This is a picture of where it was at the last time you saw it. I am stitching it on a 36 count lakeside linen in vintage buttercream, and I am using all the called for silks. This is where I got to. I did stitch on this in the morning before work, and I didn't want to put it down, so I continued on stitching with it during my lunch break. And I managed to complete this fruit bowl, and I brought all the vine up to the corner, and so there's just a little bit more to do up here, and then I go across. So I've practically reached the top left-hand corner. And so I had a little bit of this color left on my needle, so I just came down here and started the next motif. Super love this. I look forward to bringing this back out on June 1st. It's such a pleasure to stitch. And my next whip is Judge Not by Plum Street Samplers. It's absolutely super cute. All these little sheepies. I am stitching it without the words at the bottom. I just think the sheep are adorable, and I'm not quite sure how I will fully finish it whenever I get it done, but love it. It's been in my stash for forever, and when I started it, there we go, my lighting was having a little bit of issue. It's very cloudy right now. It's early in the morning. It's like 8:28 in the morning, so my light is not optimal. Here's a picture of where it was at the last time you saw it. And I started this, I don't know, last November because it had been sitting in my stash for way too long, and I thought I'd get started. So I just started with the little outlines of the sheepies, and this is where I'm at with it now. I am stitching this on a 32 count linen by Silk Weaver in the color Parisian Taupe. I love this color. I have just a little bit left I have slotted for another project, and yeah, one of my favorite dyes from them. Okay, so you see here I have a little bit more done. I pulled this out for a semi-sane Facebook challenge. I don't think you can join the group right now. It is a closed group and they're not accepting new members at the moment, but they do lots of different challenges in the group, and they have this one where they're doing this alphabet challenge, and every 2 weeks they pick a new letter of the alphabet and you pick a project that matches that letter, and this worked perfectly because it was J, so it was Judge Not. So I managed to fill in the rest of that sheep. I filled in all the faces that were already there. I started filling in this one, and then I came over here and started the outlines of the other two sheep. Super love it. Not sure when it will come out again, but because I'm telling you what, those sheep are adorable, but they are a lot of work. But we'll get there because I do love it. All right, so that is all of my whips. So now we need to move on to all of my new starts. All right, all of my new starts. I have quite a bit of new starts to share with you. I have 3 new starts that happened before May, and then the rest of them are all my Mania starts. So I want to say, like in the middle of April, Climbing Stitcher and I decided that while we were self-isolating, quarantining, whatever you want to call it, that every Sunday we would have a new start together. A new start, or we would work on a project that we had started together previously. And we were going to continue this until either we got tired of it or until we were back working in the real world instead of staying at home and physically distancing from everybody. So the first new start is something that I have been wanting to start ever since it was gifted to me. And this seemed like a perfect time. So my first new start is Autumn Dream by Cottage Garden Is it Cottage? Yeah, Cottage Garden Samplings. Samplings is so small I couldn't read it. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Super beautiful. And I was in the mood to start something fall-ish. And this is where I'm at with it. And here we go. The fabric is getting blown out. It is a 36 count linen by Dames of the Needle in North Beach Brown. It is actually a peachy brown. The color here is being totally blown out. But here we go. We started this. I started in the center and worked my way out. I love stitching on this so much that I kept it out for the entire week, and it became my lunchtime stitching. So beautiful. And I cannot wait to get more into this. And I would like to have it done this year because I do have a couple others in the series that I want to stitch, but I don't want to start them until I finish this one. So one at a time going for me. But super love it. So our next new start is, or was, Seeking Refuge by the Scarlett House. A lot of people were stitching this in April, and I understand why. It's absolutely beautiful. Was super excited to start it. I am stitching it on a 36 count linen by Graham Cracker Fabrics in the color Pie Crust. You can find it on Kitten Stitcher. I believe it is her son who is dyeing fabric, so I had bought a few pieces. And this was the one that I had shown a couple videos ago that half of it looked like a car had run over it, or a tire track run over it, or someone's chair ran over it and left a streak. But I was able to cut this fabric in a way to where I could use the piece that didn't have all that on it, and then I'll figure out what to do with the rest of it. But this is where I got to. It's a very tiny start. I started in the bottom right hand corner, and I am using some of the called fors, and I'm also using a conversion because I didn't have all the called fors in my stash, and I didn't want to go out and try to purchase them, or go online and try to purchase them. So this is where I'm at with it. Super cute. I look forward to getting back to it eventually. So my next start was a start that I just decided I wanted to do, and I started it on April 30th, the day before Stitch Mania started. And my reasoning was I needed a warm-up starting piece so I could remember how to start things for Stitch Mania. The things we tell ourselves, right? But also this pattern is borrowed from my sister, and I wanted to go ahead and stitch it and get it back to her. So I am talking about Spell of the Moon by Blackbird Designs. Yes, stitch all the Blackbirds, people, right? Super love it. I am housing it in my Leslie Hurley bag. Love these kitties. And I am using the called for fabric, which is 32 count linen by Weeks Dye Works in the color Tin Roof. My sister sent me the rest of that, what she had left over from stitching it, and this is where I'm at on it. I got quite a bit done. I started it, and then I was stitching on it at night, and I get anywhere from an hour and a half of stitching at night. Just depends on when I sit down with Shanna in my lap and the TV on and start stitching. Super happy. I love it. We all know that this Weeks Dye Works fabric is a little flimsy, so I had a roller frame, the perfect size for it, so I just popped it on there, and it's made it a lot easier to stitch on than putting it in a hoop, or I have like a 6x6 Q snap, but that's too small for me to work in, so absolutely love it. I need to get back to it so I can finish it and then send this off to the finisher whenever I decide that's going to happen. All right, so now it is May 1st. It is the first day of Stitch Mania. How did I decide to handle Stitch Mania this year? Well, let's just recap. In 2018, I decided I was going to do 18 new starts, one start for each day. I only got to 11 before I had to go home to Georgia for a family emergency. So I only had 11 new starts. Let's fast forward to 2019, and I decided that whatever I didn't have finished from 2018, I would work on that day in 2019. And if I had something, okay, so I think from 2018, I had only finished one project of my Mania starts before 2019. So I had one available slot from my 11 starts, and then I decided that I would allow myself up to 4 new starts, I believe, 4 or 5 new starts in 2019. And I think I only had 4 starts. And I think I finished 2 of those 4 new starts. So this year, I'm like, what do I want to do? I contemplated stitching on my old Mania whips on the day I started them. And then I'm like, okay, so I put on a calendar what days it would be, and then I decided to allow myself 1 to 2 new starts a week. I was definitely going to at least do 1 start every Sunday, and if I wanted to, I'd allow myself a start on Friday or Saturday. Okay, so Mania hits, what do? I do not work on any of my old Mania projects on the day that I was supposed to. I decided to, during the week, I worked on my focus piece in the morning, and then at lunchtime and in the evening, I worked on 1 to 2 other pieces. And turns out I have another gift piece. So I've been trying to work on that at night, and then during my lunch breaks, I have been working on things that I've started that I just didn't want to put down. All right, so May 1st comes around, and I decided I'm going to have a new start because it's the first day of Mania, and I want it to be a super special start. So what is it? I started Teresa Kogut's Newcastle Bouquet. I fell in love with this pattern the moment I saw her video of the model stitch on her Instagram channel. I knew I had to have it. So I bought it post market. I bought it during the market. Yeah, I got it from Needle Case Goodies. And then when we all are quarantining, I decided, okay, I want to support some local needle workshops. So I reached out to Acorns and Threads, and I asked them to kit it up for me. And in retail therapy, I will show you everything I got. But yep, this is where I'm at with it. I am stitching it on a 36 count R&R linen in Cafe Kona, and it's getting blown out. It looks a lot like the Weeks Dye Works straw. It is definitely more yellow-brown than what's showing here. But I started in the bottom right-hand corner and worked on this lovely border. And I'm using all the called for threads. And I did work on this throughout the next 8 days after starting this. I just could not put it down. And we know this is a beast of a project because you saw the size of it. And so I figured out, how am I going to tackle this project so it can actually get done in my lifetime? And I figured out, if I stitched 2 of these every time I picked it up to stitch it, I could have the border done in 15 stitching days. Now, these are a lot of stitches, and it probably would take me all morning of a Saturday morning or part of a morning and part of an afternoon to get 2 of those done. But then if I only stitched 1 of these every time I picked it up, it would take me 30 days. So I am going to try to pick this up throughout the months and try to get anywhere from 1 to 2 of these floral border motifs finished, so at least I can get the border done this year. My husband does love it, and he says he could see it hanging in our living room. So I'm quite motivated to get this done sooner rather than later. Oh, yes, absolutely love these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Yep, so that was my first mania start. All right, so then my next start was Sunday, May 3rd, and I started Blossom by Carolyn Manning Designs. And this is a pattern that I've shared this story before. Caitlin, Big Apple Stitching, she bought this at Needleworkers Delight when we were there together in November. I fell in love with it, put it on my Christmas list with a bunch of other patterns. This is what my husband gave me for Christmas, one of my gifts. So we decided that we would start it together. And I had reached out to her and she said she was thinking about starting it for Mania. So we picked a day and we started it together. Absolutely love it. And I am using my New Jersey FlossTube Retreat needle minder from last year. It has yet been decided if we are going to have this year's at the end of July. We shall see. But I am stitching this on a 32 count linen by Zweigart in the color Evening Rose. It's probably not going to show up properly, but this is where I'm at with it. I started in the center, so this is where I'm at. I started in the center with the tree and worked my way up and out on the branches. Absolutely love this. My color is a deep mauve rose color. It's much deeper than this. Probably in the future when I show pictures of where I'm at from it before, you'll get a better accurate representation of the color. But yep, so just stitched on the tree. It is all in DMC and lots of neutral beige brown colors. Looking forward to getting more of this done. My husband loves it. He asked me when I would have it finished. And I proceeded to say, this year. Because that's what we say, right? My husband is not really, he appreciates my cross-stitching. He appreciates my hobbies, but he's not always one to say, yeah, let's hang that in the living room or whatever. And so now there's Shanna. Hello, Shanna. With this one and Newcastle Bouquet, he's asked me, when are you going to have them done? Because they look really nice hanging in the living room. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this year. Could be December 31st, but it'll be done this year. All right? So that was my second mania start. All right, so now it's May 9th, and I decide I want another new start. And so I had picked out projects that I've had kitted for quite some time. I've had wanted to stitch probably since the fall of 2018. So that pattern that I picked is Glad Hearts by Abby Rose Designs. Yeah, I've had this kitted since the fall of 2018. I was supposed to stitch it in 2019. That never happened, so I made sure it happened this year. Now, I am making modifications to this pattern. I am omitting this part right here, and I'm bringing the border down. And I've figured out how to make that all fit. I omitted these little corner pieces and just brought down the little triangles to meet up with each other. And excuse my nails, you know, we all have quarantine nails, eyebrows, hair, whatever. So I love it, and I really am happy with my modification of it. And this is where I started with it. I am stitching it on a 32 count linen by Under the Sea Fabrics in the color Rose Merita. Again, it's being blown out. It is the palest peachy, pinky mottled fabric. And I am using all the called for threads, and you can see how I brought down the border, just omitted the little corners and brought the triangles down. And that will give me enough clearance to have all the little top pieces and still be able to fit this top border down here. Yeah, I'm also thinking about removing the crown and putting another heart there instead. That will put 5 hearts there, and I think things look good in odd numbers. But yeah, so this will come back out eventually, and don't know when, but it will. and I love it. All right, May 10th, and my next new start is May Wordplay by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. You know, I finished the February one last year, so I decided to go ahead and start my next favorite one in the series. I am stitching them on 28 count Joblin in the color Clay Marbled. And I started this and I stuck with it throughout the week because I loved it so much. And I am hoping to get this finished before the end of this month. And this is where I got to with it. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. You can see I left it in mid-thread. Absolutely love, 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 love the colors on this fabric. They really shine. I'm using all the called fors, and oh, that little beehive and the little bees. Now all my bees do need back stitching across to do the little black lines across them, but I'm going to do that at the end because there's several of them in this pattern, and I just want to do them all at once because it's one thread. But yeah, I am almost at the halfway point. And yeah, this is going to come back out this coming week. It will probably be my lunchtime stitching, and hopefully I can get it done before June 1st. All right. So now we are up to May 15th, and it is a Friday, and it's my next start, and this is a special start because I've started this with Erin, the 2 Martini Stitcher, and Climbing Stitcher has also joined me in starting it, and I love it because Erin and Climbing Stitcher started it in the same corner, but they both made different progress, and I started in the center. So it'll be interesting to see how all 3 of ours progress over the time. And I'm talking about Summer at Cherry Hill by With Thy Needle and Thread. I found this at Keepsakes last year when I was there for StitchCon. I couldn't find it anywhere else, and when I saw it, I snatched it up. And then Erin showed it in one of her videos, and I said, hey, I have it. Maybe we should start it together at some point, and that some point was this mania. Absolutely love it. I am stitching it on a 36 count linen by Seraphim, hand-dyed fabrics by Lori in the color Dusty Road. It's probably going to get blown out here, but here is where I'm at with it. I started in the center, center-ish. The center is in the tree, and I counted over to her hand and started there. And I absolutely love this. I am using all of the call for so far. There might be some substitutions other than, I can tell you right now, I substituted the tree and the branch that she's holding on to. The called for is apple cider. I think it's a Classic Colorworks apple cider. Might be a Gentle Arts. I can't remember. I put it in on this tree branch here, and I just felt it was too browny yellow, and so I switched it out to Weeks Dye Works Swiss Chocolate, and I'm much happier. She has no hair. She has no eyes and no hat brim because I didn't have those colors, and I have them coming to me, and then we'll get her fixed up a little bit. And I love it, and I look forward to working on this all summer long and seeing how far I can get with her this year. All right, so then we come upon Sunday, May 17th, and I have another new start, but I cannot share it with you because it is a gift. And again, once I have it finished and the recipient has it, I will share it with you. All right, so now we come to yesterday's new start. Yesterday was the 23rd, correct? Yes. And I decided to start this, which I love it. It is Quaker Cat and Mouse by The Work Basket. I found this at Keepsakes at StitchCon last year. If you've never been there, they have all these models on the wall, and if you see the model, that means they have the pattern. And while I normally may have bypassed this pattern when I saw the model of it, I'm like, yeah, I need this in my life. So of course I started the cat. And this is where I got to yesterday. I'm stitching this on 40 count Newcastle linen in the color light mocha. And I am using Mrs. Sada's silks, and I believe the color number 10. And this screen is not doing, the lighting's not doing justice to this. This is a more brown, and this silk is the most beautiful, gorgeous copper color. And I absolutely love stitching on this yesterday. I put in 580 stitches and did not want to stop. This is my first foray into stitching on 40 count, and I do use a lighted magnifier, and that is the only way I can stitch on 36 and now 40 count. I realize that certain dyers, like Picture This Plus, their fabrics shrink a great deal. So when I tried to stitch with 40 count a year ago, the fabrics were, they were Picture This Plus, they were small cuts that I got. The fabrics were too dark and I couldn't see the holes even with my magnifier. So I was afraid to try something else. So I found this on 123 Stitch. I bought a little piece, and I decided that let me try something small on it. And I have no problem seeing these holes. Now, getting started, it was like, ooh, my eyeballs kind of like freaked out. But once I got started, there was no problem. And I love it. And I will stitch more things on 40 count, preferably on not heavily over dyed fabrics. I need to see what coloring cotton looks like. I need to see what under the sea fabrics 40 count looks like in person before I decide to buy any of it and stitch on it, because I know how it is with Picture This Plus. I do have some Picture This Plus that I got from Market. It's 40 count, but it's their fawn color, which is a very light color, and I can see those holes. So I just think the lighter color fabrics with Picture This Plus I'd be okay with, but yet they're still tighter than these. But I super love this, and when I stitch anything on 40 count, I believe I'm just going to stick with small-ish projects, because I don't know, and that's how I feel right now. I don't want to stitch everything on 40 count, but I'm having fun with this one. So, yep. So this was my last Mania start for this video. I have a few more planned, and I'll show them to you in my next video. But yep, these are all of my new starts. Now it's time for retail therapy. And what am I keeping my retail therapy in? I got myself an Acorns and Threads bag, and oh my goodness, this bag is amazing. It is washable. It's washable paper. Hand wash, cold water, or machine wash, gentle cycle, cold water, dry flat. I was not expecting that, but I love it. It's huge, and I'm hoping that I get to visit one day soon. Husband and I were planning a summer trip to Oregon in August for hopefully my birthday this year, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be flying anywhere anytime soon, but who knows. But until then, I have my Acorns and Threads bag. So what did I get from Acorns and Threads? I know I teased the bag on my Instagram, and then I was planning on showing the contents in a video, and it's been a while. So this is the little baggie that came with it, and I already said that I had them kit up Newcastle Bouquet, and I also, you know, had her give me the DMC. I purchased the DMC. So these are all the threads. There are 2 of everything that's already in the kit. And then, well, the kit means my bag. And then the DMC that I needed for it, I had her send them to me too. And so then you already saw that I am stitching it on the R&R 36 count linen cafe Kona. I had to get a fat half because I wanted I wanted a 3-inch border on this piece because it's too huge not to have a 3-inch border, and so I needed just a little bit more than a fat quarter. So then I also had her, I asked Janine, because I got to speak to Janine several times on the phone, what Lakeside linens they had, and she sent me this 36 count light exemplar, which it's a little deeper than that. Absolutely love it. It's a fat quarter, but Lakeside linens is so hard to find, and I know that they tend to have some of it in stock, and so I said, yeah, go ahead and throw that in my bag. So that is what I got from Acorns and Threads, and I'm telling you, fantastic service. I emailed initially, and Janine responded within a day or so, told me what she had in stock, what she didn't have in stock, and I just told her, yeah, I'll wait, for the orders to come in, and when everything was in, she called me, I paid, and I received it within a week. All right, so I highly recommend, if you want to support your local needlework shops, just give them a call. They will be more than happy to assist you. And we can help them during these times where, the doors are either closed to any kind of, closed to all walk-in traffic, maybe even closed to curbside pickup, and they're only doing online orders or phone orders. This is the time to call them and say, hey, do you have this? Because you never know. All right, so that was Acorns and Threads. Had placed an order with Love You More Studio Co. because I had a coupon, a $25 coupon to use, so I just perused to see what they had, and I fell in love with these, so I got these. I love this bee sleeve, this flower bee sleeve. Absolutely gorgeous. Had to have it. Nice little wood grain fabric on the inside, and then I fell in love with this mandala. I believe that's what they're calling a mandala pattern, which has this gold speckled red fabric on the inside. Absolutely love it. So these are standard size, so they'll fit like half patterns or smaller patterns in there, and highly recommend them. I also had placed an order with Tara, the 805 stitcher. She had put these bags in her shop, and I initially resisted, and then on Instagram she made a comment that she felt guilty about taking one for herself. So I don't know, first of all, you should never feel guilty for taking stock for yourself. You deserve it too. And so I just yeah, let's go see her shop. She had one left, so then I'm like, I no longer resisted, and I got this gorgeous, I believe it's a Tula Pink sewing machine fabric. Absolutely love it. She put a sweet little thank you card in there and a matching needle minder in with it too. Absolutely love her bags. I had also placed an order with Diddly Daddle Designs, and let me just say, this is for the past 2 months of shopping. I did not do all of this shopping in the past week. This has been for 2 months. And she had put this up. This is one of her half size. She calls them in-hand bags, and I have one other that I'm using, and I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful blue batik inside. Absolutely gorgeous. I loved the stamps for traveling. My husband and I do love to travel, especially overseas, and hopefully we'll get to do that again sometime in the next couple of years. I had placed another order with Fire Poppies. Great shop to support. She's in South Carolina. She ships super fast. Great customer service. So what do I have here? Well, I have some more Cafe Kona R&R fabric. It's a good thing I love this colorway because I have a ton of it now. There's a long story as to why I have two, one from Acorns and one from Fire Poppies. But what's interesting is that the dye lots are different. So they're similar, but not quite. One's lighter and one's darker. So I love that. And I went ahead and I bought a couple of quarters of Legacy linen. I've heard Brenda and Laura from Brenda the Serial Starter, they talk about this linen, so I wanted to give it a try. It is a 37 count linen by Legacy Linen, and this one is Wild Honey. It's not showing up. It's beautiful skin color, like a skin tone. Really pretty, not really showing up. And then I have Russian Tea Cake, which is a really pretty cream. It's showing up more white, but it's a cream. And I'm actually using some of this for one of my hopefully planned Mania starts. So those are 37 count. I do stitch on 36 count. So I'm looking forward to trying the 37 count. I will say that the weave on this is tighter than, pardon me, tickle in my throat. My throat dried out, so I had a little coughing attack. All right, needed a sip of water, and I'm back. So this is a 37 count linen, and what I've noticed is that the weave feels thicker, and it reminds me of a Wexford linen, which I'd never heard of that until I went to Needleworkers Delight the very first time, and they had some. And it feels just thick like that. So I'm looking forward to trying to stitch on this and see, and I'll get back to you and see, let you know how I feel about it. All right, so that was from Fire Poppies. I did get my coloring cotton threads and fabric of the month, and I have February threads. February. I have March and I have April threads to share with you. I'm not going to take them out of the package because I have so many at the moment, but here are the March Brights and Variegated. Yep, spot on colors right there. Amazing that my light's working at the moment for these. Gorgeous. These are the all colors for March. Oh, love them. And then these are the primitives for March. Really, really beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so then I got my April ones the other day. And these ones have her new hang tags on them. Love it. And these colors are the Brights Variegated. Oh, love, love, love. I love this color right here. Yep. Here are the Primitive Neutrals. Very, very pretty. Love it. And then here are the all colors. This is a really pretty green in here. Love it. These blues. Yep. Very, very pretty. And I also did get my April fabric, and I switched over to 36 count linen in January, alternating each month between a neutral and a bright. So I'm getting one a month, and this month was my bright, and unfortunately 32 count linen came my way, but it's okay because it's beautiful, and I used to get the 32 count linen, and this one is called Clementine, and it's getting blown out. Yeah, it's a little bit better. And I will say that I emailed Angela just to tell her that I received the 32 instead of the 36, and that's a-okay. I was fine with it. I'll stitch on it. But I just wanted to make sure that the next month that I would definitely be getting the 36, because I want to get 36 for the rest of the year, and then we'll reevaluate the situation. And she replied to me, she apologized, and she refunded my money because I received the wrong fabric. So she did not need to do that. I'm super appreciative of it, because like I said, I stitch on 32 count linen, it's no problem. But excellent customer service. I highly recommend supporting, all of our small business owners, and, she didn't have to give me my money back, but she did, so thank you. I don't have my Under the Sea fabrics of the month yet. I think it's downstairs waiting to be opened. So I don't have that to share with you this time, but next time. I placed an order with Kitten Stitcher because I needed these new releases by Blackbird Designs. We have the Loose Feathers Summer, Autumn, and Winter. And I am planning on stitching them all in one piece. Love it, love it, love it. And what I didn't expect with these is that they're actually books and they have a couple other designs in each of them. So you get quite a few patterns for the money, but I was super excited that they decided to re-release these because I have been wanting them. So I got those from Kitten Stitcher. I had placed another order with Needle Case Goodies Post Market because I decided I needed these patterns in my life. And the first one is Teresa Kogut's Pet All the Dogs, and inside is it for Hug All the Cats, and I will do that version, but I love it. And then I also got her Faith, Hope, Peace, Love sampler. And my intention is not to stitch this all in one piece. I'm going to start with this top here, and I'm going to stitch it, and I want it to be in a drum finish. So right now my intention is to just do the top piece. And then we'll see. Yep, super love those patterns from Needle Case Goodies. I had gone online to a Etsy shop. I had seen this pattern on Instagram. Michelle LindyStitches had reposted it, I believe, from Farm Girls account, not 100% sure. And as soon as I saw it, I went and bought it, and I guess a bunch of other people did after me because we broke her PayPal, because that's what she accepts as PayPal, and she is in another country, and I guess too much US cash was coming into her account, and PayPal was like, yep, you're not going to work anymore. It's been resolved. People don't have the patterns, but I love the fact that so many people flocked to buy this from her. It is the site Stitches Through the Years, and the pattern is like a cherry blossom, and I printed it, and I have ink toner here, so excuse that. But it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. Oh my goodness. This will be started this year. Absolutely love it. And I do have some of the called fors in there. So, but that's, I couldn't buy just that one. I also bought A House Is. Oh, super beautiful. Love it. Have some of the threads there. And then I also bought Autumn is Coming Mini Quaker. I felt that would stitch up pretty quickly, even though it's 142 stitches across. Famous last words. And then I have some of the threads there for that. So I got these from Stitches Through the Years. Absolutely love. Everything I talk about will be linked down below. I had placed an order from Mad for Minders. It all started because I saw this from Stitcher Mel. She had posted a star on Instagram, and she had this on there, so I had to have it. And it is Panic Last Roll Toilet Paper Roll. How appropriate is this for remembering this time in our life right now? Super love it. Happy to say my husband and I have not run out of toilet paper. We managed to find some about a month after everything happened, and then we have since found some in another store. So we're okay in the toilet paper department. It is the disinfecting products that we're still waiting on. All right, so I couldn't let that travel alone, so I went ahead and got this pattern. It is Thread Needle Street by Annie B's Folk Art. Isn't that adorable? I look forward to stitching this. I love that the walkway are spools of threads, and that is a tomato in the center. Just absolutely love it. I do have a 1, 2, 3 stitch order here. I needed to order some threads for various projects, so I threw a few other things into the cart. And most of the threads I have are already in the kitted projects, but I have these sitting here, which are these gorgeous colors. It is for a Val's Stuff pattern that I had also bought while I was at StitchCon at Keepsakes. And these are just some of the called fors. I'm going to convert the rest of them in the pattern, but I needed them. And then I went ahead and got this because of Erin 2 Martini Stitchers showed this in one of her haul sections of one of her videos, and I fell in love with it. I had never seen it before. It's Hands-On Designs Winter Solstice. Aren't they gorgeous? I love those colors. So I picked that up. I had also wanted this for a while, and it's been in and out of stock, so I picked it up. It is a red Cottage by Plum Street Samplers. Super pretty. Love it. And then this pattern was on clearance, and I have been eyeing it, so it went on clearance. That means it's going away permanently, so I went ahead and bought it. It is Mr. Blueberry Blue. And this is all charted in dinky dyes, but they do give you a DMC conversion. He's funky, he's cute. Then finally from 123 Stitch, this was a Prairie Schooler reprint, and it is Weather-Wise. I had found this in an Etsy shop over a year ago and bought it. Was super excited because Helen D stitched this, and I fell in love with it, and she stitched this piece here. And I fell in love with her color conversion, and I wanted to stitch it. So when I found it, I was shocked. I was like, whoa, what is this doing here? I bought it. I never showed it on a video because probably a couple weeks later, someone had shown the same pattern. It was cardstock pattern on Instagram. And you could see on theirs that it was a fake. So I was concerned mine was a fake, even though it didn't show any of the classic telltales that Kitten Stitcher, Teresa she's done a video about how to kind of tell when things are fakes. And I was not 100% convinced mine was real, so I never showed it. So I just went ahead and bought the reprint. And I already have the colors that Helen D did for her conversion, and I am close to my 100th start, and I'm thinking that this is going to be it. Super excited about that. I had also placed an order with Grandma Girl Designs on Etsy. Erin is my enabler for most of this haul. She had shown these needle minders. I fell in love with them, so I went and purchased them, and I have a couple more that were out of stock at the time that she's back in stock, so I reordered those two that are coming to me. But here they are. Little calico in a teacup, a little black kitty in a boat inside a light bulb, and this pink gummy bear. And then she put this little pink ice cream cone in there for free. Super love these. Aren't they adorable? Love them. And she includes a nice little handwritten thank you card, and you get a couple Werther's candies in there. So highly recommend shopping from her. Ships super fast too. All right, then this purchase is because Michelle Bendy Stitchy showed these on her video. She was giving some of them away, and the very first time I ever saw them, I was watching her video at night, and Carla from Cobweb Corner had sent them to her as giveaways, and I tried to get on her website from my phone at night, and it was like I couldn't find them. So I went and found the designer's shop on Etsy and bought directly from her, from Pamela. She is amazing. She ships super incredible that there's no way that these patterns could be bent. And she's great customer service. You know, she messaged me as soon as the order went in the mail. So what did I get? It's part of her Colorful Cats series. And of course, you know, me and cats. I got Mozart. Super cute. I got Phantom. Oh, love. I got Blizzard. And I got Valentino. Valentino is probably going to be the first one I stitch because, you know, pinks and teals. And then she has a new one, Watermelon, which I love, 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 but I'm resisting because I'm a good girl. Okay. Alrighty. So then, a couple of last things. I had gone on Etsy looking for wooden spools, and I found this shop, which, let's see, the name is George's General Store, and they are based in California, and they do a lot of woodworking, and then they put them for sale. So I found two different style spools. I found this style, which are very tall and thin, and they have the holes. And then I found this style, which is, you know, the more vintage style of threads. And what I want to do with these is I have a lot of trim, like Lady Dot Creates trim, and I wanted a better way to store the trim than keeping them in the little packages. So I thought I could wrap the trim around and then have a basket, whatever, and display them. That is down the road for when I have a little bit more organizing space and I don't have to worry about my cats, Shanna, eating them. All right, so that, oh, no. I found I have one more thing from 123 Stitch. And I have a piece of 36 count Weeks Dye Works linen in Havana. And this is because of Michelle Bendy. She loves this and everything she stitches on this is gorgeous. So I decided I wanted to give it a try. So yeah, so it's 36 count Weeks Dye Works, and it's actually not that bad in the flimsy department. It's nothing like their 30 and 32 count. This has actually got a little more substance to it. So I'm looking forward to stitching on it. All right, so that is all of my retail therapy. I do have one piece of Stitchy Kindness, which was a total surprise. Excuse me, my phone was buzzing. I had loaned out one of my patterns to Sammy from Sammy J Stitches. I met her for the first time at the New Jersey FlossTube retreat in last August, and I was stitching on this, and she loved it. And so I offered to let her borrow the pattern, and she accepted, and she finished it. It's gorgeous. She stitched it on, I stitched it on a mint fabric. She stitched it on this beautiful melony color fabric. Gorgeous. But that was Sophia from Summer House Stitchwork, so she returned this to me. But what was surprised is she included a couple other patterns in there for me. She included Sakura from Summer House Stitchworks. You know I love, love, love this. The colors, me, yes. And then she also included this Eat, Sleep, Stitch repeat pattern by Lori Holt from Be In My Bonnet. And I love this, and I have already picked my own colors. I want to, is it cross stitch palettes or stitch palettes online? I can't remember the name of it. I will have it linked below. But what it is it takes pictures and it gives you the DMC colors from those pictures. So I went on there and I said, I want to see pinks. And it showed me a bunch of sample pictures of the pinks that had other colors in it. And I picked my palette from one of those pictures. So when I start this, I will share that with you, but love it. So thank you, Sammy. A total surprise, not necessary, but I appreciate it, and I look forward to stitching these. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so that is all of retail therapy. Let's move on. All right, my friends, so that is it. I am just waving at hubby. He's coming back from his run, so perfect timing. That is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all your love, concern. I will be back again. I have lots of different videos planned in my mind. I am doing another Stitch With Me that will be released very soon. And I'm also planning on doing maybe some tutorials. I did have someone ask me how do you stitch on even weave, so I thought I would do some tutorials like that. If there's anything you're interested in, let me know and I will see what I can do. So that is it for now. I hope you all are enjoying your Stitch Manias if you're participating. I hope that you're all staying safe, and that until we meet again, I hope you enjoy all your stitching time, and until then, happy stitching. Bye.